What's up guys, Nolan here, and today I'm going to be setting the record straight on what is going on with Wargame. Today we're going to be talking about the new Wargame that all these content creators everywhere that cover strategy games seem to know about in their titles and thumbnails. Isn't that crazy? Although they don't actually go into the videos because there isn't one. So stop falling for it, guys. The reason why you guys keep seeing videos for the common RTS creator teasing Wargame is because they all know that the community is itching for one. So they are taking the opportunity to use it as clickbait for their content. Well, fear not, boys and girls. With my vast knowledge of the games industry, I will try my best to keep you guys as informed as possible and avoid getting teased in the future on this specific subject. And the best part for you guys is that I'm going to try and do it in less than 5 minutes so that you can continue with your day. Eugen Systems, for those of you that don't know, is the primary development group for the Wargame series, and they decided to try and move on after the moderate failure of Active Aggression and launch a new game as any business would, as more products equal more potential sales, which equal more money. They decided to try and hit the World War II genre again as maybe to get the best of both worlds from their Ruse and Wargame days. Luckily for them, the first Steel Division did well, although we can assume it didn't do that well given the issues Eugen had last year, where they spent the majority of the last year fighting off a strike and a lawsuit from former employees for unpaid wages. With that info, along with the fact that Paradox has parted ways with them even though the second Steel Division isn't even launched yet, it's not looking that great for Eugen in 2019, and any hope of getting another Wargame goes along with it. The reality of the situation is that there is a very real chance that there will never be a new Wargame, given the situation Eugen is in, and all the raging green and I told you so's on Reddit isn't going to change that. There's only one way Wargame makes it come back, and it's through Steel Division. I am willing to bet that there will be a third Steel Division next year with some theater of World War II. If I had to guess, it's either going to be North Africa or the Pacific, but I'm strongly leaning towards North Africa, given it would be less overhead for their already stretched thin team, since they already have a majority of the assets that they would need. They just need new textures for the units and some new maps. While environment and character artists are working on that, they'll probably try and stick some new kind of game mode or something together too. If they did the Pacific, they would need all new Japanese assets, because they haven't even touched them yet, and all the environments would also be significantly different. The last option here would be actually a really bad sign, and that would be if they are still in Europe. I can't really see any other useful thing to do or to cover in Europe unless it's like the final days of the war, so they'll do like the fall of the Reich kind of thing, because then they really don't need any more units. They can just pack all these units back together with Russia, Germany. They can just use all the units that they have and a bunch of the assets that they already have, and then they'll just remake some environments or maybe a couple new game modes here and there. Whatever they can glue together for the last game. Long story short is that the new Wargame depends on the success of the next two Steel Division games. I personally didn't like the first Steel Division, but I did get my money out of it. I have 64 hours in it, so that's that. I know that I won't be able to spend another 1,500 hours on another Wargame if Steel Division doesn't do well. So that's it, guys. If we want to see another Wargame, we need to see another Steel Division. Now, what some people are going to say is, screw that. I don't like Steel Division. I'm not going to get it. Let's just wait for someone else to pick up Wargame. Do you know how difficult it's going to be if Eugen goes out of business? Our chances go down significantly. If Eugen goes out of business, there's practically no chance that another company will want to pick that up. There's really no compromises here. Our best possible chance at seeing another Wargame is if Eugen stays in business, and the only way Eugen stays in business is if Steel Division does well. That's the pure math behind it, guys. So that's the update on the new Wargame, and that's going to be my 5 minutes there, or less than. I don't even know what I'm at right now. I've got some compromises for you guys. I've got the amazing work that a guy named Spectre has put into the Ash and Shadows mod. So if those of you guys that have checked it out and didn't like it before, wait, there's been a bunch of updates to it, and we are still working on it. And yes, I said we, because Spectre has taught me how to modify the Wargame files myself. I now know how to screw with the activation points, which it really isn't too difficult, so don't go giving me any awards yet, because it's not that difficult to do activation points and prices and stuff like that. So he just put on an update, but if something does happen where he can't work on it anymore, I'm going to pick it up and I'll be able to balance whatever he wasn't able to get to. So that's the Ash and Shadows mod. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to see more videos on the most recent patch very soon with me and Bolt Sauce, Saucy Network, if that's how you know him by. And then if you don't, you can check out the description where you'll find a link for the mod and check it out for yourself. The second option is the game that Firestarter and a few other guys are trying to make, which will be the spiritual successor to Wargame, and that's called Project Field Warning. If you don't know what that is, you definitely need to go check that out in the description. Although though it has its downsides. It's open source and essentially a passion project. This is basically what we're stuck with if Eugen does go out of business. Although everybody working on it is very passionate, it will just never be worth the time compared to Wargame. They will never get the right polish or units or gameplay to compete with just even vanilla Wargame. It will be fun in a couple years when they have some new units for a couple countries, and I'm sure we'll play a couple games, but it will not be more than that. And that's just the truth behind projects like that. It just doesn't happen. I'll end this by mentioning that I really, really, really hope they prove me wrong, because it'd be fucking amazing, but I don't think they will. So that's it, guys. If you want a brand new Wargame, you won't get it unless the next two Steel Divisions do well enough to warrant Eugen to produce one. Until then, check out Ash and Shadows, or try and check out Project Field Warning and help them pretty much make a new Wargame from scratch. Actually, no, that's not pretty much. They're literally remaking Wargame from scratch. I would love to discuss this further, but I wanted to keep this as brief as possible for you guys. If you'd like to hear more, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, stay tuned for some Ash and Shadows gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.